Welcome, my dearest friends and fellow Americans, to the worst ceasefire I've ever seen in my life. Now, you asked me a lot of questions. I have one for you, and I'd really appreciate if you would put it in the comments. Is this the worst ceasefire you have ever seen in your life? That is the question of the day. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you everything that's going on over there in the Strait of Hormuz. I am going to diagnose the problem. I am going to give you the solution to the problem. Mr. President, if you're watching, give me a call. Welcome to the Joe Rossano Show. Well, my dear friends and fellow Americans, speaking of the worst ceasefire I have ever seen in my life, now the ceasefire, according to President Trump, has been extended indefinitely. And what does an indefinite ceasefire look like exactly? Oh, Iran is firing on ships, they're seizing vessels and parading missiles and missile launchers through the streets of Tehran. We're talking ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles. The U.S. says the ceasefire is extended, but on the water, in the air, and across the region, nobody is acting like the war is over. Now, before I diagnose all of this, tell you exactly what's going on and the solution to this problem, and where J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, and our pal Jared Kushner are right this second, I want to kindly ask you to please click that subscribe button. Please like, please share this truth with your friends. Please click the notification bell for our latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. Please comment. I will be back tomorrow to answer your questions, to respond to your comments at my live show. That's tomorrow, Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here. The Strait of Hormuz is now in slow motion, and this is reshaping the entire world's economy. Iran has seized now two commercial vessels, the MSC Francesca and the Empanadas. The third ship, the Euphoria, was fired on shortly thereafter. It's attack after attack, about 30 attacks in the maritime incidents since about March the 1st. All right. Now, as we know, during a blockade, U.S. Navy previously seized an Iranian tanker. That's escalated the whole darn standoff. But the U.S. extended the ceasefire indefinitely, saying Iran must present a unified proposal. Iran has not even acknowledged the extension of the ceasefire and continue maritime attacks. Tehran says diplomacy will resume only when logical grounds exist, meaning no movement whatsoever. Meaning Vice President Vance, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner are in Washington, D.C. right now. I told you I'd tell you where they were. They're not in Islamabad. You want to know why? Because Iran's not going to show up. That's why. And there's a reason that they're not going to show up. I'm going to get into that too. So they basically warn if the United States continues any military pressure, that they warn of crushing and imaginable blows. Okay. Iran is publicly displaying a ballistic missile launcher during a pro-military rally in Tehran. Oh, that is so lovely. Folks, I got to tell you what's most disappointing about this is my wife and I were strongly considering a vacation on one of those really nice islands, right off the Strait of Hormuz there. Oh, I can't, because there's a bunch of drones flying all over the place and a bunch of sea mines. So officials frame all these actions as defense against the United States and Israel pressure, of course. And here's the spillover. Hezbollah and Israel, they are accusing each other, of course, of new ceasefire violations. Drone strikes, artillery fire, border clashes, they continue. Now, let's talk about the casualties here. Okay, Lebanon casualties exceeded 2,200. Israel reports 23 killed from Hezbollah attacks. So we're going to talk about the regional death toll. Iran, 3,400 plus. That's Iran and Lebanon. 2,200 plus people dead in the Gulf states. 32 Israel. 23 from the attacks from Hezbollah, and the United States military stands at 13 casualties. 2 were non-combat casualties. There's fallout all over the place. Oil prices are spiking because that strait remains closed. And now the airlines are warning the jet fuel shortages if the blockade continues. So, what solves all of this? Weapons inspectors. That's what the United States wants. They want weapons inspectors from Austria to go into Iran with, tell me if you ever heard this before, unfettered access. Remember the Iraqi war? That's what they wanted. They wanted weapons inspectors to have unfettered access. The United States wants the weapons inspectors to inspect all nuclear sites and how Iran is handling their ballistic missiles. Boom, done. Look at that. Wow. I think I'm going to watch the Joe Rossano show every day for the rest of my life because, by golly, that son of a gun's right. And I am right. That is exactly what ends this conflict. Weapons inspectors. Let them into the country, unfettered access, and the war's over. However, Iran doesn't care if the war is over or not, folks. They don't care. If President Trump orders additional military strikes, destruction from the sky, and kills 30, 40,000 Iranians, the mullahs don't care. They really don't care. They don't care about their own people. It's not like the United States. A fighter jet got shot down, and it was major news here in the United States. A big-time rescue mission. They don't care. They really, really don't. So where does this leave us? A ceasefire that exists on paper, but not in practice. A strait that's supposed to be open, but now it's a shooting gallery. And a region where every actor is preparing for the next move, diplomatic or deadly. The world is watching the Strait of Hormuz because what happens at the Strait of Hormuz doesn't stay in the Strait of Hormuz. It's not Vegas, folks. It hits gas prices, your supply chains and global economy. It means gas prices are up, food prices are up. There's a war going on. Oh no, now there is a indefinite ceasefire. So president said, cheap gas, cheap groceries, no inflation, no new wars. Mr. President, I'm very disappointed. And not only me, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson apologized for supporting the president of the United States. Again, weapons inspectors, and this war's over. It's that simple. But Iran is not going to let weapons inspectors in there, and they don't care if the war continues. So there you are. So you can't say you don't know everything now. Once again, I'll be back tomorrow, 1 o'clock, to answer your questions, respond to your comments. That's a live show. Can't wait to see all of you. Please like, share, comment, click the notification bell, subscribe for all latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. God bless you. Don't forget to adopt a pet, and we'll see you next time.